Mum's the word. The Edinburgh Society of Unapologetically Imperfect Mothers is here to brighten your day and lift your spirits with our unique take on all things motherhood. We're real-life friends, a special group comprised of women from across the globe who've chosen to call Edinburgh home. Together, we're a haphazard amalgamation of diverse perspectives and life experiences united as we try to navigate the often tumultuous journey through Motherland with humor, unwavering support, and lots of fizz. Our mantra is radical acceptance and the necessity to check your ego and self-interest at the door. Keep calm and hold my Prosecco, ladies. I hereby call this meeting to order.
Tuesday team. It's Lissy, and today, we've got a great group. We've got Anke, and we've got Tammy, and Heather.
Hello.
And the lovely Becky.
Hello.
And, we've got just the most awesome topic.
We do.
For this week. It just seems really appropriate, but we're just talking about friendship.
Yeah, we're gonna get deep today. I think
we
a little
are.
bit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Do we need
tissues?
Yeah, we're gonna go deep. We just felt like we've been circling this topic for a while, right? And it just feels like it's the right time to sort of dive a little bit more into this, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think as I'm kind of putting us out there more and trying to extend our reach through social media, I keep on bringing up this topic of how we're a celebration of female friendship. Mm-hmm. And I thought Heather and I thought it would be a really good topic,
especially given what's been happening recently with visiting friends. So
we had Sarah come all the way back to Edinburgh, which was great.
Yes.
I love it when people move away and they come back 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. And it was so tough when she told us that she was leaving.
It was so suddenly.
It was so sudden. It was so quick.
It was quick. But you can relate to that, actually.
Absolutely.
Because, when we moved from, to come here, it was a similar sort of situation where it was like, we're making the decision, we're going.
Same here.
So I completely understand, but in a selfish way, I felt so shocked and upset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I said to her is, I completely get it. I totally understand. But
I don't agree.
Very selfish person, and I'm very sad.
Yes. I know. We don't agree with it.
We don't agree with you. We don't agree with your life choice. We miss you. We miss you so much, Sarah, but it was so good to see you.
It was.
And
she seemed happy.
So you girls got to see her.
Yeah.
Well, she moved closer to home. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's many reasons where it's a great move for them. So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But so how was it to get to see her?
It was just like nothing has changed. It was great. I think that's the beauty of, true friends is that you can go days, weeks, months, years, and you just pick right up.
Yeah.
3 weeks is great, Sarah, if you're listening.
Yes. If we could,
Cadence.
if we could just book that in every 3 weeks, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Mandatory Edinburgh Girls Weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. No, it was just so nice. And it was just easy. And, the conversation flowed. And it was great to hear about, their new place and the kids' new schools. Mm-hmm. And it was just really lovely.
But she doesn't have friends like us.
No. And she's not.
That's why she's coming
Heather
back.
looked very serious.
So that's why she's coming back to refuel.
Yes.
Oh, I like that, Anke. Coming back to refuel.
She needs a dose. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
She needs her mom friends back. Absolutely.
And she's not allowed to make any new. No, we all hope that she makes new mom friends and that she goes and makes a whole new friend group because we want her to be happy and
Absolutely.
to have that connection. Yeah.
Absolutely. As I say to the kids, love expands.
Absolutely.
It grows, it expands. But on the same end, keep coming back.
I did tell her if she attempts to leave any of our WhatsApp chats that she's in trouble.
Yes.
Well, we've got your number.
All 8 groups. 9.
9? Do we have 9? She's in all of them.
Yes.
It's true. Lissy went to visit a really good friend of ours who left a while ago. It was like
18 months ago. Yeah.
Over a year.
She moved home to Copenhagen. And we'd love to get her on the podcast at some point.
Definitely. She's keen as well. She's so keen. She is our biggest fan.
Oh, good.
She's so funny.
And your husband is one of the few husbands I know who is also listening to us.
Honestly,
No way.
shout out to Max because he is our biggest hype dad out there.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. So how was your visit?
I mean, it was fantastic. So I flew out early Saturday morning, and I had the most entertaining flight on Ryanair ever for many, many reasons. I think the crew was just particularly hysterical. When we, they were like just doing the announcements, were throwing in little, you'd have to be paying attention, but little like jokes, and that was quite fun. And then we landed, and you expect certain things as soon as the wheels hit the ground. You usually expect some people to like whip their phone out and immediately, turn it on. This was the loudest, and everybody literally just kind of flipped and then looked at each other, and the entire plane burst out laughing, and it was just hysterical. It was such a vibe. It was great. It was like the best start of a holiday. It was totally random, and it worked, and it was so much better than clapping.
Yes.
I am here for it. If I was almost disappointed. I know it was like 1:30 in the morning when my flight landed last night.
Oh my gosh.
But I was we were delayed because of the weather.
Oh no.
And I was disappointed. I was waiting for the pipes. Like I wanted I wanted it. I was expecting it. It would have been a great wake up. But anyway, and then I'm in the terminal and just walking through, and this gentleman came up behind his wife and just started having a rant. And it's important to note that it is pre-noon. It is early. And he broke out the most vulgar phrase I think I've ever heard. And it was to the point where, again, everybody that was within like earshot just couldn't contain. It wasn't even like the British going, it was full on belly laughs, and everybody kind of looking at this guy going, isn't it a little early to break out the effing thunder? See you next Tuesday?
Oh,
I'm confused. But so he wasn't Danish.
He sounded very northern.
Okay.
Very northern. I feel like we need Kim here. It's a perfect moment to ask her. But it was just, I want to know what could have upset this man so much at this hour of the morning when you're starting your holiday to break out the...
Oh, I think if he was with his wife, then I'm sure there are lots of reasons.
Well, no, he was complaining about somebody else. He wasn't complaining, like, he wasn't calling his wife that. He was complaining about a passenger.
Maybe that propeller passenger was someone he knew as well.
It was just really funny.
I mean, a couple of hours in a plane with the wrong person.
It was a 90-minute flight.
What did they do?
I want to know what this woman did to break out that vulgar phrase.
Maybe she was hitting behind him, and she was
Kicking the back of the
squeezing
chair.
her legs into his chair from behind.
So what is this jumper?
Oh, so this is my souvenir.
Okay.
Because all of my souvenirs from Freya and Mads are either food or clothing related. Give you one guess who was in charge of which category. So this is my I'm not going to remember the name of the guy, so I'm going to have to take it off. Hang on one sec. It is
Norgard.
Norgard. So it's the Mass Norgard Copenhagen.
Okay.
Copenhagen shirt. It's
very cute.
And this is also from there. And I'm just loving the 90s vibe. I thought it was really cute. But yeah, so Freya was like, this is what you need to buy because everyone will be jealous.
So how was it having time with Freya by yourself?
It was just so special. We chatted for hours, drank copious amounts of wine, ate amazing food, and we went to the spa, which was lovely. And, in very Danish fashion, you go down to the sauna and the steam room, and they had complimentary salt scrub and mud mask.
Oh, that's
So when you're in the
That's
sauna,
cool.
like post sauna, you could like have a little scrub, get all the dead skin off.
That sounds
And then, we went upstairs and sat by the swimming pool with our mud masks on.
No, Lissy, Danish sauna. What did you wear?
Bathing suits, darling. It was I mean, it was a very skimpy bathing
Thank you
suit,
for
but it was a
asking.
bathing suit.
appreciate. Okay.
And we sat on towels.
So, I mean, it's so nice that you got to reconnect. But you're very good, I have to say, Lissy. You're very good at making sure that you get that time to reconnect with friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. Because I think you do a really good job at
Aw,
that.
thank you. I think my personal relationships are just so important to me. My friendships, my, my family. I mean, my husband, bless his heart, he understands that I love him dearly, but he is not my soulmate. My girls are my soulmates. Like all of you, my girls are my soulmates. You're what feed that part of my heart in a way that, he can't.
But so that brings us into our topic
Yes.
neatly, which is really, the challenges that we face as adults, right?
Yes.
In terms of making friendships and having friends and maintaining friendships, given some of the issues that we have maintaining those friendships, like the busy schedules or
Yeah.
the family commitments, what you were saying. And then
Geography.
geography. So just, what challenges do we face as moms, as friends, as adults? And
Absolutely.
There was a great. I mean, I was sort of aware of it, but then I read about it in the book. Let them that throughout your life, it's even from kindergarten, school, university, even when you're young in your first job, and you don't have family, you're kind of free to go out with your colleagues afterwards. Especially in Britain, it's such a culture to go to the pub afterwards.
It is, absolutely.
And then there's a time when, especially even with small kids, you have playgroups and you meet at cafes. But then, I mean, we are all at the stage. Our kids are moving rapidly to secondary school, where you don't do pick up and drop offs, you don't meet other moms, and you don't have the automatic network.
Correct.
Yes.
Unless you make an effort to meet people and to arrange meetups and so it was really interesting in this book. And in the book, the author had moved somewhere, and for a year she felt that she was lonely and couldn't
isolated.
connect. Yeah, and she had to make an effort to just approach people in a it doesn't have to be in an annoying way. It's she would be much more open-minded and have her eyes open in a cafe and maybe sort of say hello to people and start chatting. Or it was really lovely. And I thought, that's so true. Like, especially if you relocate. If I go back home, I have my school friends. It's easy to meet up. You just come around for a coffee at your place. But if you don't have the long-term relationships, where do you start? And you can't just knock someone's door and say, here I am.
No, definitely. And it's so hard, I think, as adults to break into friendship groups that are already really well established.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why also, I mean, we're lucky in Stockbridge that there are so many who moved here who are not in their set old style networks, or not
It is
old
very
style, but they're
transient.
It is.
That's
It
true.
is.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, that we're all very much in a place where we're open to new friendships. And
Very much so.
And not to, not everyone has that, I think even at probably different points of our own lives, we've not always had that capacity for many different reasons. Not because we're not friendly, nice people, but because we're just bogged down with other commitments in life, or, you only have so much so much time and ability to do so
spread
many things at
yourself.
once. To spread yourself. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I just, it's interesting. Like, when I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking about our friendship group, and I was thinking about my relationships with my friends. I mean, so friends have always been like extremely important to me, throughout my, I've always looked for that sort of friend group for support, for, fun, for like, supportiveness and sort of the backup, ever since I was like really little.
Absolutely.
And, I've tried to hold on to all of my friends. I remember like Michelle Obama had this thing where she was like talking about Oprah, and she was like, oh, Oprah invited her to come to her house, and she was like, oh, you could bring a friend. And Michelle Obama was like, okay, I'll bring my friends. And she's like, well, how many people? And she's like, 20, 30. and Oprah was like, how can you have that many real friends?
That's amazing.
And then Michelle Obama was like, just come over to my house and look at my kitchen table. Because it's pictures of all of her friends. Aww. Because she brings people along the way in her life. And I just thought I can relate to that so much, because for me, friends are like family. Like you bring them with you. So I have like the same friend I've had since I was little, and like this friend over here. And so it's interesting, because the periods of my life where I've had a tough time making friends because of more like my location and my work. It was tough. Yeah, it was really tough. Like, how many other people feel that way?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
when I moved to the Middle East, I was on my own. I was single. And I arrived and I didn't know anybody.
That is so tough. Yeah.
And you think, okay, maybe, people at work will be super friendly. But the relationships were kind of already established. Yeah. And there was very much at the university, are you academic or non-academic? And the academics were, and non-academic, that's where I was working, non-academic. So I already felt like a bit of a barrier. I'm like,
because that's a real divide.
That's
like that Friends episode. Remember when Ross is like, no, this is where the blue jackets sit.
Yes, Ross and Joey.
Ross and Joey.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's a divide.
That is.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also interesting what you said about work and, a time in your life where you moved. I had that with Melbourne. I wasn't working.
You've mentioned this.
Yeah, I wasn't working, and I wasn't in the network, and it's really hard to get started. Once you're started and maybe one or two people, and then they say, oh, by the way, this is my friend so-and-so, whatever. And I took from it then whenever I meet someone here, it's just me, come here, and that, no, join us, and can I introduce you to so-and-so, and then something works out for them.
Yeah, but it's getting it started. That's exactly what.
It's exactly, because it will snowball.
It will, and that's what happened for me.
But
here.
sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes, so when I moved to Boston, maybe similar to you, I was on my own, and I had left New York, and I was like, I'm moving to Boston. I told my boss, I'm moving to Boston, rented a place, moved to Boston. And it was so hard because all my friends were in New York and my network.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to hang out with me in Boston. I mean, my best friend from high school, bless her soul, she was already in a serious relationship. But I just didn't have that, because people weren't willing to allow me into their friend group. And I think I had mentioned another pod, like I started chasing people around, and I was like, she looks friendly. It just wasn't happening.
How you and I became friends. You chased me down.
But like it was impossible. But I will say the upside is that I met my husband.
Hey.
Oh, yes. Did you have a similar?
Yes.
So there you go. See, I
just nosedived into sports. I was
amazing.
Like, right, I'm joining all these sports groups and activity groups, and sure enough, yeah.
But I love that.
But I mean, it's interesting because you so quickly, like, as long as you can keep your head above water, not above water, but you can keep sane, and you keep staying active and try different things. But it can also go the other way, that before you realize it, you're so intimidated, or you feel so uncomfortable that you can't approach anyone anymore, because it needs a certain confidence or a certain openness to do that.
Well, I think that's confident. I think it was confidence probably, that like I will get over, and you probably too, it's like, but it wasn't easy, was it? When you don't have that friend group, it's really, really,
and it's really, really hard, if you've been, I think both of you've had a really strong friendship group, to move somewhere new and not have that. But it's also really hard if something happens within that friendship group.
That's true.
And then you end up almost like isolated from your friends.
Well, that's horrible.
Fractured.
Yeah, absolutely. The fractured friendship group. It's almost like going through a breakup.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I was reflecting on that because it's it triggers. I think it triggers one of the most vulnerable points we have, because as humans, to be excluded from a group, it can set up such a fear, like, because that
Well, we're social
we all
beings.
want to be accepted. We all, yeah.
Absolutely. And that fear of being left behind, and it's very real. And I think that confidence that you were talking about, Heather, I think it can be very knocked in that situation.
So I mean, I think luckily somehow I was able to maintain that. But I mean, a situation where I moved here, and one of my closest friends from New York kind of dropped out of contact for a while. And, because of her own stuff, right? Yeah. But I almost felt like heartbroken. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Because my friends are my family.
They're your life raft.
So, I remember. And then we got back in touch, and I'm like, okay. So, it's such a... Yeah.
But that's the thing about a true friendship is, I have friends talking about, I have friends all the way back to elementary school that I still talk to, and all through my life from then. But it's some of those relationships will go 1 year, 2 year, 3 years without talking, which sounds horrible. But when we start talking, it's like nothing's ever changed. Yeah. I think that is actually the true test of a friendship, that you don't have to feel the need to connect all the time and that pressure, because as we get older, we don't, time is a luxury like everything else.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
But it's interesting what you said about the feeling of that someone had broken up, because I have a good friend who I see maybe once a year if I go back. But we're sort of in touch. But if we're not, it doesn't matter. But there was a period where once I thought, there was something about the communication. I think it was complete misunderstanding. And I thought she'd broken up. And I was like, it was so interesting to watch my reaction to it. I'm like, oh my God, but I thought, but I hardly ever see her. It shouldn't make a difference. But it does. Because somewhere we feel comfortable knowing this person is there, even if they're not physically present.
No, definitely. Do you know that the loneliness problem is now considered an epidemic? Apparently there was a from the Office of National Statistics in the UK, apparently something like 27% of British people consider themselves to be alone and lonely.
That is so sad.
All the time. But how sad is this? A further 67% of people ticked the box that they feel lonely sometimes or often. So not all the time, but sometimes.
Yes.
So 27% of the population feels completely alone.
Lonely all the
and
time.
And 67% of the population feels like, yeah, you know what I do? I do get really lonely sometimes.
But I also read that it has shifted. It used to be more the sort of retired generation that maybe has lost a partner, or I remember from my grandmother, she got really old. She got 98, and she was just like, all my friends have passed away. I don't know what am I doing here. But that it has actually shifted to the younger. So the bigger group is now the younger, or the bigger percentage is now amongst the younger generation.
Yes,
that's just shocking.
Yeah.
But is it? I mean, look at how, and again, not to say, back in our day, but I think the amount of social change that we've experienced in the last 20 years.
Oh, it's huge.
Has far outpaced our tiny human brains with being able to adapt and be wired to accept those changes.
Absolutely. And I mean,
so guys, break that down, because I mean, you guys know, Rebecca, you know a lot about this. What does that mean? Because I mean, I look at social media and I'm like, no.
Yes.
I mean,
but we can see this live. I mean, it's nice to get a message, right? But to come here and sit here together, I mean, you cannot if you're not feeling great and you meet someone, it makes the world of a difference.
That's exactly it. And there was a joke, tiny human brains. Obviously, our brains are all very well developed.
It's all right. We didn't take offense. We didn't take offense to that.
But no, like you're saying, Anke, we're losing that whole sensory experience of being in the room with someone and having, physically feeling their presence, and even just the smells of being, the pheromones, if you will, and all that other stuff. Plus, then you're talking about the social side of things. You're not seeing people's faces anymore. If you do, they're in, clips that have been tailored to what we want people to see.
Or want people to look like.
And even divided attention. When you're texting with as much as I love my friend group chats. It's not the same as having one-on-one undivided attention.
And also,
with a friend
I
of yours.
agree.
Last week, I had a conversation with someone in a cafe, and we were sort of not agreeing, but not in a bad way, just in a way that I think we were agreeing, but we were in completely different circumstances. So, of course, I wouldn't do what he do because his circumstances are different, and vice versa. And I said, like, it's really important that we're not agreeing. I'm not talking to Chat
GPT.
Yeah, and because they usually agree, as far as I know. But also to any conflict, if you're with someone, it's really unlikely to escalate, and usually you leave in a way you just talk a bit longer, or you look at it at a different angle, or you can explain it again, and your presence and your
Body signals, facial expressions.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you actually leave someone in a conflict? You might have a conversation and kind of have a bit of, can you explain this, or maybe, or even here where it's like no, we don't agree, but that's fine. But how often do you send a text message?
So often.
And the person, or you get a text message and you're like, huh? Or or someone is completely pissed off because something is sent and you don't even know what you've done.
Absolutely, or even just how they frame it, like okay with a full stop, or okay without, or did they put a comma here? Or
Oh my God, it's like, remember when you were dating and you'd be like, okay, girls, this is what he said. What does it mean? What does it mean? Does this mean he likes me?
Yes,
Because there's a comma. The anxiety.
I agree.
But also, like, I think there's something really special. I was listening to this the other day. Apparently, all it takes to calm someone down and to bring someone back, like, from the brink, if they're spiraling, is 8 minutes of interaction with a friend,
like
or
across from
one another,
real
or even on the
interaction.
phone. It could be on the phone. But just personal contact with a loved one, with a friend. All it takes is 8 minutes.
I believe it.
I believe it in most cases.
I mean, obviously, if you're on the bridge,
Yes, yeah,
you might need a professional.
No, but I think it's really
maybe not 8 minutes after delayed plane.
I think what's true is that I think if you have that one-on-one conversation with someone, your desire is that you would both walk away from the conversation with your dignity intact. Like you want to give that person respect, you want to receive respect, and it's more likely that you're going to do that in person.
Very much so.
Whereas, these, if it's just an online, if it's just a message, if it's a quick, I'm going to do something here and then I'm going to like look at myself, or, it just feels so,
I think it feels
disconnected.
Vacant. It's disconnected.
Yes,
Exactly. That's a much better word.
And today I heard something really interesting about therapy with couples who were struggling from breakup with their partner, and they were looking at the success rate of the therapy, and there was one therapist who said it's not a magical formula, it's nothing it's something special, but this therapist was saying it's all about these people actually having someone to confide in, who has empathy, someone they can talk to, and that makes them get over the breakup much quicker, and to have this interaction with someone than someone who will try to get through this on their own.
Right.
And it's not that the therapist has a magical key or some kind of the therapist can't make the person come back, or they can't resolve conflicts, but they can be there for the person. And
absolutely,
very much so. Now I'm gonna do a little segue here from that. Do you think that this isolationist kind of theme can trickle down into motherhood? Because new mothers, we're not going to work every day anymore, and seeing our kind of people that we are used to seeing every day. We're not going out in the evenings with our friends anymore. We're, you're at home.
And it's all of a sudden. Can we talk about that?
So
like
fast.
when you first have,
the first child.
Yeah, when you have a kid, it's like nobody's told you what's going to happen to your life.
That you're not going to sleep.
Yeah, you're not going to sleep.
Sorry, I'm still not over that.
You are not.
I remember
you have
they-
no control. Like, you have to take care of this thing and keep it alive.
It's not extended babysitting. No one's
You will
coming
have
to
no
pick
breaks.
this
I
up.
remember that's why I love the antenatal group and the NCT, because you meet other parents who are in the same, who are going to be in the same
I didn't
situation.
have that.
Oh,
I'm so
so
envious.
we in the UK had that, and remember my NCT group, and we had several sessions. I think over 3 full days or 4 full days, and at the very end they did like an hour. So it was all to do with birth and pre-birth and all the options, and it was like hours and hours talking about birth. But they only had like 1 or 2 hours dedicated to what's after.
Oh my
There was
gosh.
nothing
And there were
after.
2, and
This is how
No,
you
there were-
change a nappy.
They were 2 things that were so shocking. So one was we were given time slots of what happens when, and when we realized that we're probably going to feed every 2 hours, everyone was like, "What?"
Yes. I remember that. Yeah.
And the other thing was really ineffective was the dads had to leave the room and the moms stayed in the room, and we were given a scenario of what all the things that went wrong: baby being sick, food spilled, changing
did they
nappy.
take Dad out?
Yeah, because
And
we did
eventually-
it. Because we took care of it.
And eventually the mom, finally the baby sleeps, the mom collapses on the couch with a pack of crisps. And then the dad came in and got the impression,
Everything's
How
fine.
you doing?
my gosh.
How you doing?
but the dads were told a completely different story of all the stuff that went wrong at work, which we weren't aware of. So they had a horrible day at work, were really stressed, came home, and mom is
But I
baby's
got
asleep,
I should have
and-
got this story about what went wrong at work and the one with the baby
Why
getting sick.
couldn't we have had that conversation together as a group so that we could all be empathetic?
Well, we had it
Yeah.
afterwards, but their meeting of those two,
experiments.
where everyone thought, "Oh, you had a nice day."
But what if you get both stories?
Exactly.
Well, we did get both.
No,
though.
They did
I-
at the end.
I had a
think.
very
that was
different
my life
NCT
scenario.
experience down in London. Our NCT
agree.
experience was after NCT, I was all excited about all these friends I was going to have, and they all buggered off and moved.
No.
No, like literally, all I have is one. I have my gorgeous friend Kirsty, and our children are very good friends to this day, and I love her to bits. Hi, Kirsty. But she is my one NCT friend.
But
That
okay,
was
so how
it.
many of you guys had these groups?
Me, and I just went to a
we
salsa
didn't
club
have
with
any.
my.
Yeah, we
No, I
didn't have
didn't
it.
have it.
We didn't even have a group, guys.
Yeah, see, I do think
Me,
that's one thing
Tammy, and Rebecca
the
had
UK
no
does
group.
well.
No.
Is that-
And
is that
it
not?
sucked.
we had a
were
chat
on our
at the
own.
hospital where I was having
Okay.
my child. They did call us in as couples. There was probably like 30 couples, and it was a big room, and they went through all this stuff as a group, and we all just sat there.
Shell shocked.
Shell shocked. Honestly, I'm 8 months pregnant, and they're like, you might get 2 hours of sleep the first 6 weeks. Do not let the baby sleep more than 4 hours at a time. Here's a
Honestly.
diaper for you to try changing. And then I couldn't get it. So
Oh,
that was making, I'm like,
no.
all the hormones are coming out. It was fine. I totally could change a nappy, but it was just like too much going on. Yeah, and Pete and I walked out of there and we were just like, what did we do?
See,
what have
that's-
we done?
I think that's really sad that you didn't have a group because I know
had no
that
group. There was no
that
group.
part of the whole problem with our kind of reliance on social media and the way things have changed is that we no longer have community centric living.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
the NCT at least attempted to give you a little
Yeah.
community
The nice
group.
thing was it was with dads, and our dads, on our NCT dads, just went to. Every year they have a festival night out.
Aw,
Just once a year, but
that's really
Guys,
cute.
guys, I think Tammy, Rebecca, and I are really upset about this
I really
conversation.
am. I mean, if you
Maybe
want,
maybe you could join one now. You'd be such
We'll,
good
what
host.
we'll do is we'll bring
delayed-
these babies, we'll bring the little toys, and then I'll just basically berate you and tell you how
I want
miserable
this
you're
group.
gonna be.
I want this group.
See, that I got. I still remember going to like some baby gym group with 4-month-old, my older one, and my husband going, "Why? Why? She can't even move yet." And I'm like,
I love
you
baby
don't
gym.
understand. You just see people.
So we
I
had
need to
those.
see people that can talk back to me.
So
Yes.
we had those groups, but they didn't foster like friendships.
no, they didn't. Yeah, it was.
So I mean, I was really. I mean,
You
Yes.
felt really like isolated.
So okay, so
and in the States, you know, we were going back to work by, you know,
God.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, we won't
I
go
was
down
lucky
that.
enough to get to 4 months.
Oh my God.
That's like a whole podcast.
I want to
That's
cry.
okay,
me
I
moaning.
just want to cry thinking about that.
But I remember went back to the midwife after giving birth, and you know, we lived in the countryside. We had some lovely neighbors, but it wasn't loads of people, and we didn't really know the community. We had just moved there, and I went back to visit the midwife, and she was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how depressed are you? And I was like, 10. Yeah, because I mean, I had no support. So, I mean, it is so true that, like, you know, for a lot of moms, it's like, you know, good luck.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Sink
won't
or swim.
sleep. Yeah. And, you know, by the way, your husband will probably be upset because you're not sleeping and you're like freaking out, you know. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so okay. So let's
Yes.
fast track
That's
and go,
true.
okay, well, we're in a point now where, like, if I'm a new mom or even just like a person, not even necessarily a parent, just a person, no, I'm an actual human on this earth who's moved to a new city, how do I make new friends as a grown-up, as an adult? How do I
without
make
a
And
child.
I was
just without the school gate? Yeah.
Join activities that you enjoy, and hopefully you meet people that share your interests, that you enjoy their company.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Repetition.
and especially something you enjoy. And like I just with my NCT friend, we went to a salsa class on Saturday, and it was so much fun because, for example, like we had the partners were always changing. They were all going around, and you were in there, and they were all really nice.
I love
and
that.
they all come there almost at what I could see as separate. They wanted to go dancing, and then there was like a social afterwards where you just continue dancing after the class.
That's super fun.
But also, I don't know, you know, swimming or no, swimming maybe not, but hiking groups.
Hiking groups are great.
When I lived
Walking
in
groups are great.
Munich, I
That's a
was
great
in the
idea.
hiking club, and it was the partnership connection point for.
But I totally agree. I mean, fitness and movement are such a great way to get out and meet people.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that we've all, you know, whether it's Schoolgate or it's a class or it's a salsa group or
F45
or
or whatever.
it's the repetition of it, isn't it too? And
It's
I think that's something I
consistency.
didn't realize until I was older is, you know, you might find your best friend in a cafe, but it's much more likely you're gonna, you know, connect with that person not on a one-off meet, but that, you know, constantly seeing them over and over again.
Like
Yeah.
I remember during COVID, I used to go take the same walk along the river, and because I always went at the same time, I met the same people. And after you say hello 10 times, and then you say,
Yeah.
"Oh, nice weather," or
Yeah.
you know, you have a little chat. And when I couldn't go on the same time, I would say to my husband, "Oh, I'm not going to meet my friends today because they're all dog owners and they all got the same time, and now it's too late." But also what you said about the cafe, like to just be a bit more aware and greet people, and maybe find something where you say, you know, something connecting, or you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember on Mother's Day, I had a lady next to me, and we were just talking, you know, nice Sunday, you know, how was your Mother's Day? And she said, "Oh, my daughter is unfortunately not here." And so, and that, you know, at the end of that, we exchanged phone numbers.
I love that.
Oh, that's so cute.
And actually, you bring up a good point. Do you think that the reason why we need these classes and groups and this repetition nowadays is because we don't have that small talk as much as we used to? I mean, my dad loves to go on. In my day, we used to sit on lines and talk to people, and we'd get on the bus, and everyone would be chatting with each other, and no one
now
does it
everyone's
anymore.
looking at their phone at the bus stop.
Yes,
you know?
yeah, everyone's, and it's true. Like you
It's
go
true.
on any kind of transport, people are on their phones. You stand on any queue, people are on their phones, and that's life now. And that's
It
you know,
is.
there's positives to it too, because like that's when we're talking with our lovely group chats. And,
Absolutely.
you know, we're trying to make more the days in the hours in the day, you know,
More
as
productive.
as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, we lose something. Maybe
I think
it's
so.
that human connection.
Oh, 100%. I think there was Tom Hiddleston was on a radio interview this week, and he said something really interesting. It wasn't necessarily the subject of friendship, but it was the subject of happiness. And his whole thing, Anke, is exactly like you. He says you need to find joy, because you need to find joy in yourself, doing something, whatever it is that makes you happy, playing the piano, going for a run, going for a hike, you know, going kayaking, whatever it is that makes you happy and lights you up is going to, A, make you feel better, give you more confidence, but it's also going to radiate, because when we're happy and we're feeling more positive, there's a knock-on effect to that. And I think that when you're like you said, Tammy, if you're joining these groups and doing something that you genuinely love, like, don't go to a pottery class if you hate painting. You know what I mean? Like, there's those sip and paint.
Yes.
That never take me to one.
Oh no.
Because I will be so anxious. I will be sitting there the whole time, basically just downing wine, because I suck at painting.
Mm-hmm. But it's easy to say, okay, so I get the whole, like, do things that make you happy and it'll radiate happiness, but that's not easy to say to a new mom.
No.
But also,
no. But you need to go somewhere where you can complain to other moms.
Exactly.
And
that actually brings
I
think cafes are great for that.
But that's part of why I love being here in Edinburgh. I mean, I know that I talk about this extensively.
You are our biggest super fan.
But Edinburgh is unique in the respect that, like, you have all these access and all these groups, and it does have that sort of communal village feeling where people look out for one another. So you will bump into some new moms, and you will, walking. You're not driving everywhere. You know, there's groups, there's all kinds of activities.
Yes.
So I think that this is a place which is it's special in that respect.
Definitely. And I think sorry, Tammy, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say, one of the things that I did when I was in the Middle East was I joined Internations, which is an organization that puts on so many different activities, and it's so fun, and it's made for people that are expats to come together, and they'll have salsa night, and they'll have new restaurant opening on a Thursday, who wants to come.
Oh, that's great.
So they have like so many activities, and you could just feel, you could pop in, go to the things you want to go to, avoid the things that you're not interested in. And I made some very good friends through there that had messaged to say, I'm new to Doha, I'd love to meet people, and I met them that night, and we're still friends.
Wow.
And that's
I
like
love
10 years.
And I like about this, that if you stay personal, and it doesn't have to be a big group, because I find it sometimes hard to, if I'm not feeling so confident, to then be suddenly thrown into a big group.
Yeah, I agree.
And to maybe just find one or two people where you feel actually feeling confident and comfortable, and just listen to your gut feeling, and just see, okay, which person here do I actually feel comfortable with, and just. Yeah. Even just saying, would you? I said this to another mom that is not in our class the last week. I said, would you like to go out for a drink?
Oh, well done.
Yes.
And you reached out. That's great.
I love that. That's really good.
And she was someone who doesn't often go out, and I think she was maybe a bit surprised that but it was really lovely. So,
I bet that meant so much to her. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just going for walks. Because I also don't always do well in big groups, especially when I'm not as comfortable, it's a new friend group and whatnot. And just going for a walk can make such a difference, So it doesn't matter how you do it. You just gotta get out and try to put yourself out
and
there.
I think and that's just it. It's the putting yourself out there. You need to be brave. You need to take a little bit of a risk.
You do.
You need to you're never going to meet your best friend sitting in front of your television.
Yes.
You strap that baby on and go out.
Yes.
And I think what's I find so
It'll take you an hour to leave the house.
It's so hard.
But get outside.
Absolutely.
And what really helps me to realize is that we are actually all in this together. It's so easy to think, they're all sorted. Everyone, it's just me who's, but it's crap. Everyone.
That's so true.
Does certain things to not make them feel this or that way, but we all want to be connected.
We all want to be connected.
And we all want to, feel that we're a part of something. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's your kind of takeaway is do your research, go online, find a group, or, whether it's an online group or, find the new restaurant opening, find an expat community, find something that you can find like-minded people, be brave, take a risk, go to one of the events, make conversations.
Yes.
And I would love if any of these listeners is actually, maybe creating a friendship group like we have, and meeting up once a week or so. Do get back to us.
I mean,
maybe
that would make us so happy. Yes, if you have, if you've personally reached out and made a new friend like Anke did, and now you're part of a friendship group community, oh, please let us know. We would love that.
Yes.
We would love to share stories of other, girl groups or whatever. We want to hear from
Whether
you.
they're existing already or being
formed
created.
as we speak.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That would be so cool to hear more stories about that.
to connect with our
How friends met, how you met your friend group.
Absolutely. And we're getting girls, we're getting so many more listeners.
Yes.
And our downloads are consistently, ratcheting up now, which is really exciting. So welcome to, if this is your first podcast and you're just dipping your toe in, welcome to the club.
Yes.
We're so glad you're here. And, if you've been with us since episode 1 and now you're sitting here at episode 18 going, I just feel like I'm part of you. You are. We love you. You're officially part. You've been inducted into the Edinburgh Society of Unapologetically Imperfect Mothers.
Aw, that's so
Hashtag
sweet.
perfectly imperfect. And we're here for it. We love you. We love that you're listening. And reach out. Talk to us on social media.
Yes.
We are... we're not intimidating, I promise. We're nice in real life.
We're a friendly group, really.
Oh, and also, if you want to talk to your friends instead, that will make us happy as well.
Now take a picture. Send us a selfie.
Yes.
Which would be great as well. So we're on Instagram and we're on Facebook at the Edinburgh Society of Unapologetically Imperfect Moms.
Yep.
Which is great. Come and find us.
Almost be a tongue twister.
It is. I know, we're a long one. And tag us on social media with where you're listening, and or if you're sitting in a coffee shop with your friends.
With your friends.
We would love to see that, because I think we're all about celebrating friendship, celebrating female friendship, supporting each other.
Absolutely.
And we're just so excited to have this community. I think it's great. And I'm going to close with a little quote, if I can.
Yes, you can.
Because, the world can seem like a pretty dark place. And one of my favorite all-time favorite movies, I could watch it over and over again, is Love Actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I just love that beginning sequence when he's at, it's the sequence of Heathrow Airport. The arrival gate.
Yes.
And I want to share it just because when I got to Copenhagen, I wasn't expecting Freya to meet me at the airport.
Oh.
And we had that moment of, running up and hugging each other, and it made that,
I'm going to have to watch this movie again.
You
I
will.
don't remember.
Yeah.
But, I think the quote
the
goes
tissues.
something, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's like, it seems to me that love is everywhere. Often it's not particularly dignified or newsworthy. But it's always there. Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, old friends. And then it just, there's a whole bunch, there's another little sequence, but the finishing bit is love actually is all around.
Oh,
Yes.
that's lovely.
And I love that.
And I would like to add also male friendships.
Yes, we love our guy friends too. We love our
Yes.
hype men. We do.
Friendships in any form.
Another topic.
Another topic for another day. Cheers, girls, to us.
Cheers. You've been listening to the Edinburgh Society of Unapologetically Imperfect Mothers, real-life friends from across the globe who have chosen to call Edinburgh home. Together, we're a haphazard amalgamation of diverse perspectives and life experiences, united as we try to navigate the often tumultuous journey through Motherland with humor, unwavering support, and lots of fizz. Keep calm and join us on our next podcast. And until then, mum's the word.